My name is Janice Johnson. I grew up in Los Angeles. I was born in Watts, and my father's was a musician, and he had a son that was also a musician. So it was interesting. That part made my life interesting because he was on television show and people always recognized him, and we were with him. People would always say, "Oh, there's Johnny Otis," and we would be little kids. We're like, "Oh, whatever." The music that my father made was more R&B, rhythm and blues, kind of rock. He's got a lot of songs that he's written. My brother's was a little different. If you've ever heard of Jimi Hendrix, he was influenced by him and the Beatles, so it's kind of a combination. And he was also influenced by classical music, so it's interesting. I can't really put a label on Shuggy's music, but it's pretty popular. People like his music. And then my mom was like the rock of the family. She kind of kept things normal. Went to college later in my life. I got married first and then went to college later, married again. So I've had 3 children in the process, 2 of which went to Pasadena Unified School District. Eventually, I taught in Pasadena at Don Benito Elementary School. So I taught from kindergarten through 6th grade. So I really that's my passion, teaching children. You know, what made me want to become a teacher was my 5th grade teacher. He's an African-American 5th grade teacher at 24th Street School. And we had him from, they called it B5 and A5, the first part of 5th grade and the second part. And he stayed with us the whole year. He was my favorite teacher. He loved all of us. He had fun things he had us do. He's the one that I always remember because he always felt like he loved children. When I first moved here, I guess it was because of my husband, Anthony. He passed away in 2021, but he brought me to Altadena. He lived in Pasadena. He was born and raised in Pasadena. It was a good place for people who were artistic because in the 60s, after redlining was done, California they were selling and renting to people of color, finally. So it became a different place and a place where people of color moved in the 60s and 70s. What really made it home was after we lived in that house for 30 years. And I met a lot of people, have a lot of teacher friends, a lot of friends from my kids' schools, and people that they know. So it's family that really makes Altadena for me. And also the environment, the ecological feel of all the trees and the plants and everything. It's beautiful. We moved there in 1994, and the fire happened in 2025. That was about 30 years. When I think back, it just doesn't seem like it was that long. When the fire started, we heard that there was going to be a bad wind. And what they did was they warned us and said, you'll have to turn your electricity. The electricity is going to be turned off. So electricity went off. It's dark in the house. And the next day, they're warning us about 6 o'clock to get out right now. And I'm looking at my phone. I'm thinking, okay, so I go outside and I look down the street and I can see the fire on the mountainside. No fires anywhere else. And I thought, well, there's not going to be a fire here, so got my stuff as best I could in the dark, which was hard because I couldn't get much, put in a suitcase, and also thinking, I'm coming back. Well, it was about 6 o'clock the next morning, and it was an inferno. You know what an inferno is, right? Everything's on fire. There's smoke, there's houses that were burning. Have you ever seen a house burn? It was just on fire, and there's another house on fire. There's all these houses on fire. So I'm still thinking, well, my house is, it's down. It's way down there. It's not burned. So he finally turns into the driveway, and there's nothing there. And I thought, well, that's not my house. So I was really in shock. It was hard to, look and see everything's gone. There's a lot I feel. I think about my parents that used to live there. Think about my husband that used to live there. Not so much the things, but the memories of those people. One of the artifacts that really is important to me is the dog. Remember the dog? That dog looks like a dog that my mother had. His name is Booty, like Boots. And so it meant a lot to me to see that survived. Some other artifacts were things like a little box that my husband gave me that had jewelry in it. That was really important. So I don't know, one of the girls saw that, had a little top, and it survived. I think some pieces of jewelry that were my mother's old jewelry. I had my mother's ring and my father's ring. They dug that up at the same time, right together. To lose my home is like you losing something that you've had a long time, that you're used to, because sometimes I think, oh, I have that, I have these pictures, and then I realized, everything is gone. So all of that makes me feel sad, but I still have my family, and just keep going. I do plan to build a new house. I have plans for them right now. I just got them a few days ago. The special thing that I want to have in my house are the tiles they took off of the fireplace. On the fireplace, we had tiles that were painted over. And when the fire happened, it burned all of the, it burned all of the paint off. And there's some special tile that people came, they took it off, and now they're saving it for me. And there was 3 pieces of tile that made a peacock. I never saw that when it was in the house. It was all painted over. So those are the special things. I want to have some of those tiles in place in the house that remind me of the original house. One of the things I'm learning, I'm always, it's not learned completely. I'm trying to be resilient. Do you know what that means? To try to be able to be strong and still go on, be persistent in what my goals are still. So I'm trying to be resilient and hopeful and faithful. Some of the things that would really help another person going through a hard time would be to invite yourself to be part of other families to help you along, to be open and faithful that, our life is going to be good. After this devastating thing, we don't want to see people coming in and just buying up Pasadena for the sake of profit making. We want to see it stay as a community for people to live in. So for us to stay a community, that's the most important thing. Pasadena is an important place. When they say not for sale, they're saying we need to continue like the community we've been, and to continue to make it strong and keep the people strong in it, and our children keep going like we have been.